Okay.
Yeah, Candace is sick. Danielle's sick. You're not feeling so great, but thank you for staying.
It's going on a while.
It's not like that for life.
We will.
Just great.
We will get through this. So, all right. Let's call this meeting to order at 6:04. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. So we have approval of minutes up first from February 14th, public and non-public.
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 14th, public and non-public.
Okay. Do a second?
Second?
All right, second. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Or do you want to table this? Because actually, with you abstaining and you abstaining, that only means the two of us voting.
It's not enough to approve?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
They're
okay.
minutes.
There's not a majority. If you do roll call, can you involve Danielle? Because there's a quorum.
Yeah, that's true. We're more in person, so yeah. Thank you for that solution. All right, so we will look at the,
You know I was going to abstain.
well, because you weren't at the meeting.
Yeah, you guys haven't
It's
lost
in the
it
minutes.
yet.
You were
That's right,
absent.
unless those minutes are incorrect.
Yeah.
Any comments, questions, corrections on these minutes here?
Do we still note that the people that are absent are excused?
We haven't done that for over a year.
So we're not doing it anymore, okay. Thank you.
Who seconded?
Hope.
Beautiful, thank you.
All right. Okay, I didn't see anything else specifically. We were able to get some stuff done before the basketball game started, so that was really good. Anything else? All right. All those in favor of approving minutes, public and non-public, from February 14th, signify by saying aye.
I think you have to roll call if you're involved in.
Oh, thank you. Roll. All right. Doing a roll call.
Okay.
All right. Roll call. Brewster.
Abstain.
All right. Tim, yes. Kathleen.
Abstain.
Abstain. And Hope.
Yes.
And Danielle? Yeah, I heard it, yes. All right, so there we go. We got that. Those minutes passed. All right. Public comment. Hello, public comment. Tina, you're here for other presentations, so we will hear from you then. As is according to state law, we will keep public comment open for a half an hour. So, all right, presentation, high school scheduling. So I'm not sure which one of you wants to take it away, but
Oh, I've got it.
I said to Nick as chair. I'll find it.
sure.
We're good.
Can you grab the microphone?
Because it's in the packet. So
It's in the packet, yep. So first off, I'm Tina Fleming, as you know, as principal of the high school. We have been working on looking at the whole scheduling revisit since soon as we, over the summer, those conversations, and we've been working on it for a while. We really have a great committee of staff that I want to recognize because they put in a lot of work to get us to this point. So Skip Chalker, Stephanie Cooney, Ashley Cole-Henry, Ann Duty, Bess French, Steve Longton, Amy Morris, Lori Sanborn, Dave Schindlinger, Ali Tessier, and Angel facilitated that. The amount of effort, it wasn't just twice a month that the staff met. They read a lot of articles, and they really did put the time in to get to the results that we have for you. I have to sign back in. Hold on. So in your packet, you can see basically we started with the conclusion first, but importance for the staff was one of the big things, and for students was flex block. And flex block is 30 minutes about right now is when we do it once a week. The staff really values that time. That's academic support time. Even if a student doesn't need academic support, they're connecting with staff, and that's another relationship building piece. So that's really important. No matter the schedule, everybody understands the value of professional development related to engaging students and classroom instruction. So throughout the whole process, however it shifted, if we had to do PD for related to block scheduling, we were prepared for that. So everybody was on board. They did school visits. That was part of the research. Our size isn't the same as John Stark. So they did look at John Stark. They also looked at Winnisquam. They looked at every sending school schedule for Hartford to compare. I mean, they really dug deep. They had different committees. But we needed Mascoma's way, ultimately. So they did do all of that. They just didn't find it helpful. So then we did staff survey. And the results are in the packet. Overall, 8-period day or something along those lines was really looking at the staff piece. And, staff input's important. I have all of that data if you have any questions about it. Next up was the students. And I want to say, we took time in the day. It was in a classroom with teachers if they had questions. And I am so proud of our students. They gave mindful responses. It wasn't just block scheduling 4 periods a day. I just want 4 classes a day. It wasn't like that. They did an excellent job of really considering. They want choice. That's their biggest thing. They recognize their study needs. They tell me in their responses, they can handle 8 periods a day. And remember, this group of students has had block, they've had 8 periods, they've seen a variety of it, so they understand, like, especially the upperclassmen, they understand it. Freshmen, they don't know anything about that part. It's 8 periods for them. But really, we valued that. And we had 285 responses from that. That's reliable data, in my opinion. And they just excellent input about that. And really, they want choice. And then we did reach out to parents. 64 results with that. They really felt like overwhelmingly 8 periods a day is what they were looking at. So this is where we'd like to go. We've talked to the staff as a whole group, continuing with the 8-period day, including the flex block still. Like I said, the staff is really looking at how we can have more, maybe twice a week or something like that. And then working with guidance to block some content classes. Science has been blocked in certain science classes. Math is having the conversation. It really does matter of how that supports our students and numbers. And the other thing, ceramics was another class. They were like, is it possible? Well, we have to really start to build those schedules and see what that looks like before we can make those decisions. But overall, we're kind of, from our perspective and meeting with the staff, knowing this is where we're staying, now we get to have other conversations about innovation and what else we can do. We're not going to end up doing a bunch of professional development geared towards that. Now we can do other stuff and really dig deep into that. So that's the direction we're seeking to go moving forward.
Cool. Any questions for Tina or for Angel? Or Angel, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything else.
I also would say thank you to the committee. They really felt like this was important. We talked a lot at the beginning, actually last spring, about the process, and that last time the process really was hampered by COVID, and that we wanted to take the time. The input was really important, making sure every stakeholder felt like they had a voice, they were part of the conversation. So like the survey results that you have, that's just one question. There were a lot of pieces in there that I think now the high school can use to have some other conversations about, some of those themes that came out. The kids do want some more choice. They do feel like they need that flex block. So those were really great conversations.
And through, Angela provided a lot of research articles that we all took research articles and we all read them. And there was no magic, this is the way to go to block. There was nothing in there that gave us, what we all want, that, this is the way to go. None of that was there. It was, well, you can do this and you can do that, but really it's about quality instruction, good curriculum. It really always comes down to that. In every article we had, it always came down to that. So it wasn't like, we all read it and we all, but it's nothing like meat and potatoes to say, yep, this is what you should do. So really, moving forward and staying with the 8 is really our best solution, we believe.
Any questions or anything? I don't know if you have. No, you're good.
I just, I guess it's in terms of curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
and academic improvement. I mean, I know that the last time we sat here was sort of like, okay, if we do this, then we'll be able to do that. And I imagine the committee thought seriously about, all right, how does this fit in with our curriculum alignment process, and how does it fit in with what we all, with the overarching goal of improving academic quality. And I also am curious about the behavior, because we just last week were talking about skipping classes, and 8's a lot easier to skip than 4.
It's really not. It's really not. Have you met me? It's really not. I think so it wouldn't be a skip. It would be a class avoidance where they're walking down the hallway avoiding if it was a block schedule. It's
Right.
the same problem of class avoidance.
Well, this is going to be.
We're working really hard at that, and I will say, like, you've seen our behavior numbers. Like,
Yeah.
our teachers have been phenomenal addressing those behavior issues.
Right.
And I do think in some ways we have, say you take a really struggling reader and you put them in a block for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just put a student that really does not love reading in that, but you know what I mean? That's really hard for them. And same thing goes, so now I think it's 45 minutes. We can still do that, and we can do the remediation or whatever we need to do in that flex time to give that additional support. So we're not losing academic time. We're continuing to move forward with it. And I think now that we know this is the direction we're going, we're already having those professional development conversations related to curriculum. We have some great PD coming up at the end of March to continue to really move forward with curriculum and instruction and how we continue to improve our academic quality and what it looks like for kids.
And I think the other piece is really those conversations did rise to the top, that, all of the studies we looked at, the message was, it doesn't matter what your schedule looks like, it matters what you do with the time you have with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of research that bears that out. So talking about not just the curriculum at the high school is in pretty good shape. They really have been working on it for NEASC. So it's that instructional piece. How are you instructing students? How are you engaging them so they don't want to skip class? And so that's why we really have been pushing some things that NEASC also is showing in their report and in their standards. So getting kids engaged in hands-on learning, performance-based assessment, that has been the focus. And some of those shifts will start to drive changes in both instruction and then also in curriculum. So the professional development that she mentioned, the New Hampshire Learning Initiative, was supposed to work with us actually in January when we got snowed out for our early release day. They're going to come in March. They're actually going to do the early release day and the full professional development day. Some different consultants, different people at each level, and talking about those inroads to performance-based assessment. So that's kind of where we're picking up those conversations. NEASC is a great driver. That's coming, and those reports do show that NEASC is looking for some of this innovation. So it might not be in the schedule. Let's make sure that it's happening in the area of instruction, assessment, and curriculum.
So would you say the staff is pretty well behind it? Because from
Yes.
the data, it looked like.
Well, they are. I think that, change is kind of intimate, hard for anybody. I think we have some really good things happening, and for the most part, the staff does support. I mean, that was the backbone of, and it wasn't just a great, everybody complete the survey and then we don't talk about it. We actually, next staff meeting, we had that very professional conversation, and that's when they came out with, we need more flex time, we need this. So that's good. They're an amazing staff, and they want what's best for kids. And that's most important. And they recognize, now we can work on this piece. It's curriculum instruction, and how do we continue that work? And I'm happy with how hard the scheduling committee worked to get. Yes, it's not a change, but this is good.
It was a long journey, and I appreciate you guys taking it.
No, it was them really. It was their efforts. They really dug in. I got to be a passenger and Angel facilitated. I got to just, listen to their conversation. It was good.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
So Angel, you mentioned the assessment process, and is that basically the yardstick that we can use to determine whether this is successful or it needs more work or changes to it?
The schedule specifically, or everything?
Well, basically I'm focusing on, we're staying at an 8-period day.
Yeah.
And I know from past experiences with the public, it wasn't very popular during COVID. So, I think everything, that you engage in, like this study and everything, it's, you've got the plan, you've got the action, and now we're going to go forth, but we have to keep reviewing and seeing how successful or unsuccessful the program is. So you mentioned that we do have this assessment process. And I wonder, is it a one-time thing, or is it something that would be continually ongoing so that we can have a graph of when things are high and low and in between and that?
So we definitely can look at, state assessments. So we can look at the SAT scores and the New Hampshire Science SAS test in 11th grade, and then we have the NEWA data that we can look at. And then at the classroom level, the assessment that we're looking at is really at the classroom level. So the performance-based assessments would be making some shifts from maybe an end-of-unit test to a performance-based assessment, where kids are doing some more hands-on work, having more of those happening in classes, and then we can start, once teachers get trained on how to build those, how to use those, how to give those, then we can start collecting that data, definitely, to see, are kids more engaged? Are they showing competence? Are they showing that they're actually really getting these skills and they have transfer? So that's part of competency, is that you didn't just learn it for the test, but you learned it, you can apply it, and then you can transfer it to a new situation. So you really have learned that skill, and you're going to hold on to it, and you're going to take it to the next thing. So yeah, that definitely is where we're going.
Thank you.
Cool.
Great question.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Angel, for
Thank you.
putting this all together, and thank you to the committee for all
Yeah.
the work. It's a lot of hard work, and because we had not really done a deep dive into our scheduling for 20 plus years, and COVID really shook things up, and we had to look at that. We're like, well, maybe we should look at that, and we appreciate. The board appreciates all the hard work that went into this, and now everyone kind of has a better understanding of how scheduling fits and can fit. And like you said, it's what you do at the time. Right. So I think, I look forward to maximizing those 45 minutes and how much can you pack in there and, make it engaging so kids aren't.
And people don't skip, so we chase them down and they get to class, and yeah.
It's already on a roll.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate you driving in this weather.
No, this is important. This is important for us. So. Do you need to vote?
Nothing's changing.
Okay.
So it's not like there's a radical change. I don't feel like we need to vote. You just keep making the schedule
Well,
that you
usually would say approval on here if we had to, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the flex time, I think that's great. Next year with maybe 2 Tuesdays, Thursdays, something like that. I don't know, but I think it's good to see that both students really like it and then teachers really like it too.
Yeah. And we do it now. We do AM and PM. So Hartford students, AM or we include everybody.
Oh, nice.
So we switch it back and forth.
I did like how you guys looked at all the Hartford schedules for all the sending schools, just to see what everyone else is doing, because it's weird.
It was part of the process.
All right.
I would be comfortable making a motion to accept the committee's report.
You want to?
I'm just glad it's not block scheduling and not dealing with all that stuff. She gave me a synopsis on this whole thing. I was totally ecstatic about this tonight. I was like, good. It's everything else.
Kathleen made a motion to accept the committee's
second.
report. All right, Chris is going to second. Okay. We don't have to do a roll call. We don't need Danielle's vote. I'm sorry. All those in favor?
We're just accepting the report
Yeah,
after that.
just accepting the report as presented. So,
Yes.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right, there you go.
Thank you. Do you
Cool,
need me for
thank you
anything
very
else?
much.
You want to brush my car off when you go out?
No, because I'm having the carpenter come first, Brewster. So
I know that. I talked to him. I'm going to go to the game tomorrow night.
And seeing as how there's nobody here, public comment is on the agenda, but nobody's here to ask public comment, so continue going. Seeing as how there was a remote learning day, we do not expect our student representative to be here today, so that is fine. Let's see, EIC report, the minutes are in your packet. We have a presentation that you just saw from Angel, so we talked about that. We talked a bunch about experiencing the arts. As you know, Chris Morse was the one that did that. Remember that? He would submit a giant list of all of the different art initiatives that teachers would want to do throughout the year. using money from the Byrne Foundation. COVID held that up a lot too, so there is a backlog. So we have, Angel has kind of helped lead this and kind of taken it so that there's a process for granting requests. The art, music, and teachers of all buildings. There's going to be some new activities run this year, and so there's going to be a lot of big stuff for arts for the end of this year, and lots of big ones, lots of little ones. So we will use that money to get these kids to experience some art. She also gave us a sneak peek of the new platform, Alma, which will be replacing Plus Portals and something else, or just Plus Portals?
But all of Reddick.
Everything. Okay.
All
So
of Reddick.
all of Reddick. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Excuse me. So Alma, it looked much easier to use than Plus Portals, my experience as a parent. So we'll be able to see that soon. But you were starting to migrate student data and all the stuff into it.
Yes.
So, all right. We talked about the assessment systems, curriculum focus on elementary school report cards, talking more about that competency-based learning, encouraging hands-on learning, performance-based assessments, and then PD to support those types of things. So we had a lot of stuff. We will be meeting after we reorg, and we'll talk to Bernadette Virgin from Experience in the Arts. So, any questions on that?
I have a question on the assessment systems.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's more in line with what Kathleen was asking. It seems like, so sometimes we'll get like the last quarterly reports, CES reported out what their testing data was.
Their Ames Web.
Yes, their Ames Web, thank you. But the others, like EVS did not.
Yeah.
So it's just, I personally am like, okay, I know we're supposed to look at the test data, but I don't know when and how, like a schedule or something, or, when we would be looking at that.
I'm not
typically.
sure that there has necessarily been a schedule of when they show up in quarterly reports.
Yeah, it just seems like it's so like I can't, who's keeping track of it? Are we, that kind of thing? Is that, I'm sure we are.
Right, so
but
there's
it's
different
never-
data that they look at.
It's never under
Right.
the same roof,
Yep.
so to speak, or, so anyway, that's all.
So if you want to set up a schedule of certain things that you want to look at.
Whatever we're supposed to see,
Okay.
Yeah, on a short night.
Yeah, that's short time, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, I'll check with principals on that. And
Yeah, I don't-
maybe some consistency in, it would be nice to have, so K-8, they're giving Ames Web.
Mhm.
So, maybe there's a particular quarterly report that we'd like to see Ames Web versus
Yeah, exactly.
NEWA versus SAS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you can
Great,
find.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
That'd be cool. Any other questions on that? Alrighty. You have in your packet your superintendent's report. As you can see, Amanda is not here tonight. She is in Kentucky to attend the Council for Exceptional Children's National Conference. The conference is honoring one of our teachers, Stacy Hijack, as she is the New Hampshire Special Educator of the Year. So we are very proud of her and all the things that she's done for our students in our district. And so they're going to laud her with some awards there, I guess. So that's really nice. As Amanda would normally do this time, I would like to extend congratulations to our boys basketball team for making such an impressive run in the playoffs. They really, really did an awesome job. We are so proud of them. I watched at home, and it was really kind of fun to see like our kids on a professional broadcast and see their peers and stuff. And those stands were packed, Mascoma purple. And that's the side we saw from TV, so it was just nonstop. It was all Mascoma. So we are super proud of them. Also to two of our wrestlers, Damian Nessel and CRJ Nini, both state champs for wrestling in their respective weight classes and divisions. So, and I believe that's the first year they did girls wrestling. So congratulations on that. Cool stuff for there. Strategic plan is coming back. We will begin with our first meeting on March 16th. So we have a bunch of the original group members from when we did this in 2019. Yeah, 2018. So we are getting some people back for that. So and then just some thanks to the scheduling. So that is her report. We will hear from her after.
Is the strategic plan open? Like, is it an open meeting and, how does it work, or is it just?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think, yeah, it was, because we invited public.
Right, yeah.
Input,
Yeah.
When they had it before, yeah, they did.
I
It's
remember-
not a posted meeting,
Right.
but it is open to the public. I think there might be one or two work sessions that are not, but for the most part.
Are they here? Or
Yeah, they were here in the library, yeah. So, but we can reach out to Mark, who did it before, and have him give us a little
Right.
5-minute update as to what we're gonna do this time, so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay, business administrator's report, Rob, go ahead.
Good evening. We have a couple of state level notes to make. We received a sizable reimbursement from the New Hampshire retirement system from House Bill 1221, which directed the state to return 7.5% of our fiscal year 22 contributions to the retirement system. And this will go towards the fund balance that will help for tax relief at the end of the year. And also, in more state news, the proposed budget from Governor Sununu calls for some changes in the education funding formula. So we'll be following that. Don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but adequacy may change. Some of the stabilization grants and other things might change a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go forward.
Cool.
I do have a couple additional notes from the superintendent to add to her report. She wanted to mention that the organizational meeting for the board is on March 21st. She was wondering if you would consider maybe canceling or moving, because last year it only was 15 minutes long.
Okay.
So
That sounds fine.
if you want, one suggestion might be to roll it over into the March 28th board meeting, if you think that works, just so people don't have to drive so long just for a short meeting.
Fair.
The year before was quite long because there was a presentation, but last year's was only 15. So I want to decide on that.
So that means we won't have another meeting until the end of March?
Yes, correct.
Is that going to work with any other data that comes up?
What do you mean? Like, it should be okay. The only thing is that we had hesitated about waiting 2 weeks between election and organization, because that's kind of 2 weeks where we couldn't really do anything. I think that was our concern in that.
Right.
But, we can certainly bump it to the 28th if that's okay. The only thing is that we would have to cancel EIC or any other subcommittee meetings that take place between now, or between March 7th and 28th,
Right.
because we wouldn't have anyone
That's true.
officially designated to committees. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the best case scenario, is that it only took 15 minutes last year. Whereas, yeah, in years past, it's taken like an hour of hashing out stuff. But I think,
I think the only problem that, and I don't know, would be on the committee meetings like that are quarterly and it happens to fall that. I don't think we have any like that.
no.
Like, well,
Oh, you mean like a subcommittee?
yes, that's what, yeah.
Oh, like wellness and stuff like
Yes,
that?
if communications is another one that doesn't meet.
Was there anything that happens between the 21st and the 28th?
That's really the question.
On the 21st.
There's an EIC for the 23rd, but other than that,
No,
Yeah.
I mean, but that meets monthly.
Yeah.
So that's, so I mean, if you skipped one that meet every 2 months and you couldn't meet it, and then you had to go
Yeah.
every
Yeah, is
2
there
months.
anything that's happening that week besides the IC?
not
No,
to
but
my
I was
knowledge.
talking about the ones that meet every other month or every third month.
Alright.
Okay.
So why didn't she have the board meeting on the 21st and not have it on the 28th?
Ooh.
That's a good point.
I'm gonna,
That's good.
I'm putting my signs up, because I'm worried about not getting reelected this time around, so.
You're the only one on there, yeah.
That's
Was
true.
it in Amanda's request that she wanted to move it to the 28th?
Did she
I'm
care?
not
I
sure.
don't think she
No,
understands the
she's
idea
talking
of
about
what
15
Bruce
minutes.
suggested.
The 15-minute
Just-
things, that's
yeah,
all.
that sounds
I think we need to just move it to the
21st.
21st.
Danielle is
and
chiming in
it's-
that
What's that?
curricular is on the 9th. So that would be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That would-
we move it to the 21st.
That doesn't matter because it doesn't need a school board member.
We have a board meeting on the 21st and skip the 28th,
Yeah.
on the 28th.
No.
Do we already have a
That does
presentation
make
scheduled
more
for the
Makes sense to
28th?
do that.
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah.
presentation on the 28th?
What's that?
Not like lined up, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Brewster. I like that. I mean, it's be the one that we don't do on the second and fourth Tuesday, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's okay. We
it
gotta get organized.
interferes with the selectmen's meeting on other towns, but so what? They don't come to
Yeah.
ours, so we don't, I don't need
It's
to
a,
go to theirs.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
one-time
1 year,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion because that will be
I'll
legal.
make
Okay.
a motion, we go on March 21st to have our board meeting.
Okay,
after the 14th vote.
okay.
Second.
Kathleen will second. All right, any discussion on that? So then that would take the place of our March 28th meeting,
Correct.
and then we would get back on the schedule in
Right.
April. So
Yes.
this would be a special meeting, and then we would say, or
It would be,
out of order meeting, and then we would just make sure to say at that meeting that we are not meeting on the following week. So,
I would get everything all out of the way.
all right,
First.
that's a good call. Yeah. Okay. All the Danielle, did you have any comment on that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
There was a YURBS presentation coming up, but that might be in early April.
Okay. Cool. All right. All those in favor of making the next meeting March 21st, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, abstentions. All right. Now we can find out what else happens on the fourth Tuesdays of the month.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, yeah. Co-curricular updates, those are in your packet. I won't belabor the point of telling you everything in them, but both schools did a really nice job of summing up everything that they've got going on for co-curriculars. The high school sounds incredibly busy. Kids are staying busy. Between now and our next meeting, I will say that there will be a play. The play is on the, whatever that is, around the 17th, the 16th, 17th, 18th. Is Percy Jackson in the
curriculum
lightning?
newsletter, but
Hmm?
it's in the curriculum newsletter.
It is,
but
yes. But I don't
I don't know if she attached.
because if I say it out loud, it goes in the minutes. I remember.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like the 17th, 18th, and 19th there. So those kids are working hard on that. So we'll see you there.
He didn't tell you, they got the banners, coming for
Oh, yeah?
all those things, yeah.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
16th through the 19th.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You get the rest of the ones, you know.
So
all the
Percy
basketball.
Jackson.
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the musical. So, all right. Where were we? Here, co-curricular. Oh yeah.
Switch that, and go on to there.
Any questions on co-curricular?
No.
Any updates? All right, cool. New business we have here. We do have on here, this is something Amanda put on here previously, and we tabled it for later. We have other people here. Just talking school board positions and compensation. There is included in your packet a nice list of what neighboring school districts use for stipends for school boards. We are right in line with just about everything. With a lot of districts, we're very much in line. That's my 2 cents. I'm fine with what we do. The only thing I would say is that we should possibly raise the moderator a little bit to like 200. That would be my suggestion personally. But any other discussion on
I
that?
think we had a plea from the moderator to do so. She asked us to.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
Yes.
so.
She did ask us that, and so it is a bunch of work to get, to organize a huge meeting and run it, and just because we have meetings that are very quick doesn't mean they always are very quick, so it can be very complex, there's a lot of rules to learn, and there's a lot to do, so. But this is what you have for what we do.
So my question for you is, what was the subject about school board positions? What was that?
I think it was just what each position makes,
Oh.
that's all,
Okay.
that's all.
right.
Because like some have clerks, some have minute takers, separate
Yeah.
from the clerk, that's what we have, so.
All right.
And when Bonnie came in and talked about her position, she also informed the board that she would not be running for election again, and that it may help fill that vacancy once she leaves, if we look at raising the compensation rate.
Oh.
So we decided to look at all of them,
Oh.
just out of curiosity to see where we stand.
I know, because every time I brought up in previous years and meetings about trying to raise our rate,
Mhm.
and we get pushback on that, but because we actually do more than town people do. Those, selectmen and those other 5 towns, we do a lot more than they do, and we handle a lot more money and responsibility than them, and it just doesn't come in the same line with what we get paid, but we're not in this to get rich, but I just think it's I looked at some of them, like, it needs to go up at some point, I mean, and that's just a matter of putting it in the budget.
Yeah, she did say that anything we changed on here would not take effect until
The
the
year.
following budget,
Yeah,
so.
and I still think, and I've been on here 16 years, and I got another 3 years coming up, it's not my decision not to run based on what I get paid for
Right.
doing this.
Right.
None of us are running for
Yeah,
the money.
Well, I would be
You-
comfortable doing that if there were more people here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
well, yeah, I'm not bringing that up now, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to,
you know, I
I'm putting
agree.
put this on record again, because
Yeah.
it's like everything else I try to bring up. Sometimes I have to bring it up 2 or 3
6
times.
times, like everybody else, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Couple
We all
times.
do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with you that
Yeah.
our compensation is not the highest on this chart. And we do put in a lot more time than our town select people. And there's a lot of responsibility to being in this position, and it isn't about the money. It's the idea that none of us are going to be here forever. And I'm just curious that 16 years ago, were you receiving the $700 fee?
yeah,
And you're still getting it today.
yeah.
And we all know we gotta pay a lot more for gas, a lot more to have a vehicle to get here and all that stuff. And it doesn't, you know, I've done the math. I go in the hole every time I drive down here.
Right.
So it's the idea that when we leave, somebody else has gotta come in and fill these shoes.
Yeah, yeah, they need to be dedicated enough to do it. And I mean, when I first got on, after I go through my taxes, because this is the tax year, we're doing the taxes, I couldn't deduct any of that stuff on my
Right.
taxes.
We
Yeah.
can't.
Which
Yeah.
is not, it's not fair, because, you know, in other businesses I have, I can deduct stuff.
Right.
And my officiating, I can deduct a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Danielle is asking, since the increases are not being budgeted, voted this year, if you increase the moderator for next year, could we do that in the school board line?
Yeah, we should be able to afford the
Yeah.
$100, whatever. We're gonna bump it up.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there's a
I
problem.
think that's the only place we can do it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what position
that's
we're
good.
talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would be a
as far as-
budget.
As far as our
Thank you.
position goes, it'd have to be something for next year on the
Yeah.
budget part.
Yeah.
And would it be easier to find new community members to serve if the stipend was higher?
Probably.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And then that goes with
You're
the
not gonna get them
saying.
if you lower them.
That's a good point.
And every day, the cost of living's going up, and that's lowering it.
You know, I never thought about the gas it takes to get over here because I just have kids, so we just come to school all the time. But I did my calculation as to how much I gave back to schools and fundraisers. So it's
Well,
like-
I remember when I was a parent your age,
Yeah,
and I would have this extraordinary mileage on my vehicle, and my husband would get in and he'd look at it and he'd go, "Where the heck are you going all the time?" And I said, "You try picking up those kids."
that's right.
You know, and I only had 2 children, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of miles.
We're one of the biggest land districts in the
Yeah,
state. So,
I mean, I remember the nights he was in bed sleeping, and at 11 o'clock I'm down here waiting for a bus, and I still had to go to work. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
those things that parents do, and
Everybody on this board sacrificed something, and, you know, it's like, and I can't officiate here. And, what the number of games I could do here, doing basketball and doing baseball, would take that stipend and blow it out the window.
that's for sure.
So I get a W-9 form from Mr. Business Administrator.
Okay.
So anyway,
So yeah, so I don't want to, I mean, not with everybody not here, we can talk about it in full throughout the year.
yes.
Do we
Which
need
is
to
nice,
make a
but
motion or-
yeah, I will entertain a motion for the moderator pay. I mean, pick a number and go.
I'll make a motion that we increase moderator pay to $200.
Okay.
Is that?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion on that? Okay. All those in favor of the motion to increase moderator pay to $200 for the next year, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? All right.
so she's all done after 1 year?
Is she have to run again I mean, was she up for election next year?
She said she's not running.
And she's not going to run, right? But was it next year, I think?
I think
Yeah, it's got to.
Do you have to run? You ran last year.
I'm good now.
Because it's clerk, treasurer, it's treasurer this year. Clerk, treasurer, and moderator, those three cycle first. So,
School district treasurer is the big ticket item this time.
yep, that's right.
And Danielle voted yes as well.
Okay,
What's that?
Danielle voted yes too. All right.
I forgot all about her.
Oh, quiet. Okay, so we have a couple second readings for policies here.
Yeah.
I'll just make a motion, I got it right in front of me. I got to make a motion that we approve for second reading and adoption, policy IC, school year and school year calendar, policy IHBG, home education instructions, policy IHBG-R, participation in public school activities by home educated, charter, and non-public school pupils. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a withdrawal. That's a withdrawal, never mind. And then policy JLCF, the wellness policy. Those are all for second reading and adoption.
Good, second that.
All right, Brewster seconds that.
Yeah, I love these.
I
Get
know.
them out of the way.
I like them better doing them in bunches
Good.
as opposed to individually. Any questions on any of those? Any comments, concerns? Nothing changed.
Well, because I wasn't here at the last
Yeah.
meeting, so I'm not aware of, there were no changes to be, any updates or
We,
omissions or anything like that?
the only thing would have been sticking our name in there, like Mascoma.
The standard.
District. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
And
the name.
anything grammatical.
Okay,
anything
sounds
grammatical.
good. Yeah.
This one, the school year and stuff, this allowed us to do, this was able to do us, talking about the school year and school calendar and distance education during days like today. So, IAHBG, any questions on that? Home education or the wellness policy? Wellness policy is with legal updates that are required by law. So, all right. Okay, call the vote here. All those in favor of approving the policies as read for second reading and adoption signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? And I presume Danielle voted yes on that one too?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we have for first reading, I'll make a motion that we adopt for first reading policy JICA, student dress code, and policy JLCDA, medical treatment, parental consent. And then I'll do the withdrawal after that.
So that's your motion?
That's my motion, first reading, those two.
All right, then I'll second your motion.
Thank you. Okay. Policy JICA, student dress code.
What are the changes?
This came with changes from, this is from School Board Association now, with more, just a little more clarity. It is not that much different than what we already have. It includes things about not discriminating against hairstyles, hair textures, things like that. It is very gender neutral, so there's nothing in there about girls have to wear this, boys wear that. It's just everybody, nobody can show your midsection, nobody can wear caps, hats, headgear, that sort of thing.
Okay, I was confused because when I first looked at that, I thought this is the policy that exists. I didn't know what we were
Similar.
changing.
Yeah, I think it might be very close to what we have already.
I wish we bumped that up because Tina was here.
Oh,
That
that's
would have
right.
been
And-
smart.
She already explained that to me tonight before I got to the meeting. I was
Yeah.
up in her office, so.
Yeah.
And as, we had students here, we had students here last meeting talking about the dress code at the middle school and stuff like that. And I think as is consistent, it just has to do with consistency about enforcement and, that sort of thing, so.
They're hammering down.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, I understand.
I did listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally
And I
understand.
do hope the student council looks at this too.
I agree,
You
yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah,
I remember over the years, this is one that comes up often.
It's
And it's
it's
fine,
important
it's-
for kids and,
Because this is obviously, this is a lot of times like the kid's very rudimentary introduction to a school board, So, but we have this, we can have this for second reading on the 21st as well, so we can make any adjustments
Yeah.
between now and then.
I did like the last sentence in the last paragraph.
Yeah.
When it recommends that the staff member or school administrator discuss the dress code violation with the student, it's recommended that another adult should be present and at least one of the two adults should be the same sex as the student. That's very important.
It is. It is only a recommendation, it doesn't hold them to it, because, I get it, there's not always, you can't always just grab another adult right there, so. Okay. And there's that one. Any further comments on that one? All right, and then JLCDA, medical treatment, parental consent. This has to do with like when you get, for any kind of program in a school setting, like things like screenings, so like the vision screenings we do, scoliosis screenings, authorization for providing medicine, disclosure of student health status, any other things like that. So this has some legal updates as well, and this is, I believe, a new policy for us. So we can just have this now for reading and then ask questions on the 21st too. And we don't have to approve it on the 21st, we can always just table it and come back to it. So, okay. All right, any questions on those? All right, now make a motion for withdrawal. I'll make a motion we withdraw policy IHBG-R
Do we need
participation.
to vote on this?
Wait,
Yeah.
oh,
The first-
thanks,
the
sorry,
first
yeah,
reading.
I'm
First
sorry.
reading.
I'm
Thank you.
just like sitting here looking at the clock going, we can do it, we can do 7 o'clock. All right, thank
If
you.
you screw up.
Not if I screw up, right? Okay,
I'm usually the judge, she's not, I haven't been here in a while.
I know. All right,
Usually Amanda does it.
usually she does keep me on track. That's
On our
for
toes.
sure.
One of us does.
All right, policy JICA, student dress code. So, motion on the floor is for approval for first reading of policy JICA and JLCDA.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Kathy did.
Yeah, we
Kathleen
already
seconded.
seconded.
Yep,
Sorry.
yep.
We're voting.
We're voting.
All in
Okay,
favor.
All those in favor of adopting for first reading of
do it.
approving for first reading policy JICA and JLCDA, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? Danielle is a yes as well. Thank you. Okay, now I make a motion to withdraw policy IHBG-R, participation in public school activities by home educated, charter, and non-public school pupils, now that we have adopted the previous policy, IHBG.
So I think I know why, but please state for the record why we're withdrawing it.
Is there a second?
Not yet.
I'll second.
Okay, second now. Go ahead. Why we are withdrawing it.
Mhm.
Let me see here. Let's go to the thing. Oh, because IHBG took the place of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. IHBG-R was normally IHBG, the one takes the place of it, so.
Okay. Very
Okay.
good.
So it's got 4 letters, first the other's got 3.
Yeah. All right. All those in favor of withdrawing policy IHBG-R, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Abstentions. All right. There, that's all our policies. Public comment. Nobody is here. And for the record, we left it open for a half hour. Personnel, we have a green sheet in front of you for nominations, or resignations and nominations.
I think I only have resignations.
Just resignations, you're right.
Yeah. So you need a motion to accept the nominations?
The resignations.
The resignations?
Yep.
Okay, let's change the title at the top.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, you're right.
it's not right.
You're right. You
It's
should say nominations
resignations.
and resignations.
Yes.
All right.
So I will make a motion to accept the resignations as presented for February 28th.
Okay.
Second.
Brewster seconds. All right. All those in favor of accepting the resignations as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions. All right. Danielle was a yes on that? Or did she have, okay, good. All right. Non-public, did she leave you with some non-public stuff?
Yes, we do have some non-public for the purpose of hiring.
Okay. Someone like to make a motion?
Make a motion to go into non-public for the purpose of hiring.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second?
All right. Hope second. Brewster.
Yeah, I get it.
Tim, yes.
I was gonna do it
Yes.
for you.
Hope.
Yes.
All right.
Danielle.
You want this?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't be
Excellent.
on. She can't be on that.
What?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You sure can't be on here,
On what?
on the non-public one.
Why not?
She can't, because I've been on Zoom before and I had to be off it.
I think he's right.
But this isn't Zoom, this is just like a private Google Meet. It's
Oh.
not the
No, I
Zoom.
kicked everybody off of Zoom and kept board members on
Yeah.
for non-public.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
This isn't the Zoom that everybody can see. This is just.
Right.
Exactly. The
It's a
world
private.
cannot
Well, I'm
see
just
it.
trying to make sure.
No,
Yeah,
that's
just
fair.
that, you know.
Only Danielle.
It
Hang
has
on.
nothing to do with quorum and everything like that either.
You
So
make-
that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hang on, let me unplug the camera.
Okay.
Night,